lovely viewers, I welcome you to another episode of Inspirational Diaries, where inspiration meets transformation. My name is Na Ajeli Anan, your host for today, proudly sponsored by Sam 6 and J Consults. Today with me, I have a lovely person, a fine gentleman, with me on my show today. I wouldn't talk much, but I'll leave the rest for him to answer the rest. Stay tuned while the story unfolds itself. Like I said, I have a very special person with me today in the person of Yao Odum, founder and community lead for Trotro Diaries. Shoma, you're welcome to Inspirational Diaries.
Thank you.
Who is Yao Odum?
Okay, so Yao Odum is a bachelor. I like to start with that. No, but my name is Yaw Odoom, as you rightly mentioned, and I'm the founder of a community called Trotro Diaries. So basically, our community focuses on creating a space where commuters can share their experiences. So I like to think of myself as a community builder. I also manage another community called Bachelors in the Kitchen. So basically, this is what I do. I'm a Ghanaian, love to engage people, help people. And basically, I think I'll leave the rest to the questions that you ask.
A bit about your family background, where you grew up, where you schooled.
Okay. Okay, so I was born originally in Takrady. I've lived in Takrady, I've lived in Kumasi, I've lived in Chifupraso, I live in Accra now, Cape Coast as well.
Why the migration?
Because my dad moved work-wise and all that, yeah. And I come from a very, very big family. We're 11 kids, currently 10. And I'm number 5 amongst those kids as well.
Your mom must be a strong woman.
She definitely is.
So 11 kids with the same?
No, so 8 for my mom and then 3 for my second mom.
Okay, and where you schooled?
Okay, so I went to Ridge International in Takrady, moved on to Jesus the King in Kumasi Academy, and then did my tertiary in UCC.
Oh. And then what made?
Sanomoka.
Okay, in UCC, what course did you study?
So UCC was Bachelor's in Management Studies. Yeah.
Okay, so currently what are you into?
So currently I work full-time on Trotro Diaries or social media related activities.
Okay, any childhood memories you'd love to share with us?
Childhood memories. I think yesterday I shared on LinkedIn that I just realized that all the jobs or the career path that I wanted to take had to do with people. So pastor, president, HR, footballer, and all that. And one of the very funny ones I remember was I used to be very curious when I was younger. So I think one of the days I went to do something naughty, and then my mom waited till I entered the shower, and then she came there with a cane and a belt. So there's this whole marathon really of me and my mom running around the family compound. I think that's one of the funny ones I remember from growing up.
Okay, so like you rightly said, after school you ventured into this Trotro. What year did you leave tertiary?
Oof, I don't remember, but I left UCC in 2009. That's about, I think, 14 years ago. Yeah. So yeah, 2009. But I didn't start Trotro Diaries immediately. So after I left, I did my national service, and then after I did some internship in China. So when I came back, I took some sales-related jobs. Did it for a while. So that was from 2011 to 2017. So in 2017, I was working with some German company. And then one day, my manager called me. I came back from some meeting, and then my manager, Benji, a very awesome guy, he called me to the back of our building. And he was like, "Why are you worrying yourself?" So it turns out that he had seen what I was doing with Trotro Diaries, but then I was working with them in a sales role. And he could see that, no, this guy, I pay your bread, but he's not a sales guy. So he called me aside and was like, "I can see you're not a sales guy." So we had a nice conversation. And then by then, I think Trotro Diaries, beginning of the year, I think we had about 30,000 members. By the time we had this conversation, I think we were around 100 something thousand members. It was like, I can see that there's something in this Trotro Diaries, so why don't you focus on it full time? So that's when I decided to go into Trotro Diaries full time. But before that, I had started it from, it originally started in 2011. But then it built gradually to up to that point where I decided to focus on it full time.
Okay, as you started the Trotro Diaries, have you encountered any challenges with the members or um, uh, like you understand?
Yeah. So there have been so many challenges, but then it's been amazing as well. So I can remember one of the challenges was that when I started Trotro Diaries, I realized there were a lot of WhatsApp pages, Facebook pages as well, and all that. But a lot of the content that was going on around was the same kind of content. So you see the same content on WhatsApp, you come and see it on Facebook, you see it everywhere and all that. So for me, the idea was, okay, how do we create a unique experience so that even if you come on Trotro Diaries for 12 seconds, the content that you see will be unique. And so we decided that, okay, the only content you can put on Trotro Diaries was original experiences that you had had in Trotros. Now we've gone beyond Trotros to marketplaces, Django experiences and all that. But the whole idea is that it has to be your personal experience. You can't go and copy from somewhere and post it there. People were not happy. And I would share a whole Facebook group, you are doing gaga and all that. It's not that we're trying to be gaga or anything, but it's just we wanted to do something different from the usual that people did. And then there was also the part where, because it was going so fast, I had one lady speak to me, and then she said she thought there was something mischievous in the background. So what she meant was, we all hear stories of people doing something successful, and maybe there's some juju behind it, or there's some ulterior motive. She said she thought I had some secret cult that I belonged to, but then she eventually got to know me and realized it wasn't so. So it's been a lot of very interesting experiences, but eventually people realized that it was just the idea of let's create a unique experience for people. And then there are also the people that will not read our guidelines, but will complain that I posted something, you didn't approve it. But the thing they posted, we've already written that if you post this, we won't approve it. So these have been the experiences, but it's been amazing. For 12 years, it's been amazing.
What really inspired the Trotro Diaries thing?
Accra stay by plan. So actually, what started it was the stress that we all go through. So 2011, when I started it, I was living with my parents. By then, we're in Medina, and I worked in North Industrial area. So I'd have to pick a trotro first to Medina Zongo Junction, pick another one to Circle, pick another one to North Industrial area. Before I get a trotro, I can go to the station by 5:30. I'll still be late for work that starts at 8 because at Zongo Junction, people will be struggling and all that. So the stress that I would go through from this point to that point, I got in the trotro one time. The driver tried avoiding traffic, and the route he used was even worse. So then I was like, this driver is so lucky that I'm at the back seat. But if I was close to him with all this macho, which obviously wasn't there, I'll beat him up. So people saw the humor in that. They laughed at it, they commented, and then eventually became the group.
Okay, so what is the motive behind the whole Trotro Diaries thing? And then looking at it, you started 12 years ago. Where do you look at seeing Trotro Diaries in the next 4 to 5 years?
Okay. So on a personal level, my personal mantra is that I believe that the ultimate purpose of our lives is in the hope that we bring to others. And so with Trotro Diaries, having realized the stress that myself as a young person working in Accra was going through, the motive behind it was, okay, if I'm going through this experience, that means other young people are going through a similar experience. So how do we create something that improves the daily lives of young people working in Accra and across Ghana and then across Africa? So the goal now with Trotro Diaries is, okay, how do we improve the commuting or transportation experience in Ghana and across Africa? So for the next foreseeable future, what we are looking at is, okay, how do we use our Facebook group, our other social media handles and platforms and websites or whatever we want to build to improve the experience for people? So people that want to learn how to drive, people that want to move from one country to the other, people that want to find their way. How do we help people to be able to access transportation services easily? And then also, how do we bring the people together? There are challenges that they face. So how do we give them a voice to be able to say, hey, when we take trotros on a daily basis or when we are on the road, these are the challenges that we face. when we get to a zebra crossing, nobody is stopping for us to cross. So how do we also give people the voice to be able to advocate for the things they need? So putting all that together, the idea is, okay, how do we use Trotro Diaries to improve public transportation across Ghana and then across Africa?
Okay, so you've got responses from other countries. People also share their experiences from their countries.
Yes. Yes.
How is that? How does it make you feel?
That feels amazing because for me, imagine that you can sit in Ghana and you're reading experiences from Nigeria. So we have this lady called Chinelo. She's based in Nigeria. She's sharing experience. I haven't even met her before. I don't even know how she found Trotro Diaries, but she joined and she's been sharing her experiences. We have Nziyimi. He's based in Kenya. So when I was in Kenya recently, I visited him as well. So it's building friendships. He's been sharing experiences from Kenya. We have Denise. She's from Rwanda. And so it makes it so amazing. We have this gentleman, I've forgotten his name just now. He's based in, he's Ghanaian, but he's based in Germany. And he also shares experiences from trains and all that. It makes it so unique that you can sit in Ghana and know what to expect when you visit Nigeria, Germany, Kenya, in terms of transportation. And it's such an amazing experience. It reminds me of, when we're younger, we had pen pals. You could write a letter to somebody. You haven't met them, but you get to connect to them. It's such an amazing experience.
So how is like the family also adopting to this, having a celeb in their house?
Speaking of celebs, I think the first celeb probably was my dad. So I think I like to say that all the ideas and everything came from God. In physical side, I see that I'm a bit like my dad. He's also very entrepreneurial. So he was also in Nigeria. I don't know if you saw, there was this Nigeria Rice project that had a Ghanaian man that was part or leading the project. So that was actually my dad. So he has been a celeb. So I'm just basically also learning and then trying to follow in his footsteps.
And how was society? When you go to church, they say, "Hey, way, group way."
Oh, I think people have gotten used to it, and then also thanks to God because we are humble, we're able to connect with people and all that. And so you have people say, "Oh, I saw you on Jolo, I saw you on Trotro Diaries, I saw you on CNN," that kind of stuff. The one that is interesting or funny is, as you know, I'm single, and so I try to meet people and all that. I'm currently dating, actually. I'm currently dating. I would have gotten in trouble for that one, but I'm proud to that. I used to meet people and then, I'll just be connecting with, maybe I meet a young lady, oh, she's beautiful, I'm connecting with her. And the next thing is, hey, Yao Odum Trotro Diaries, and then I'll just turn and then, or you're with somebody and then somebody walks, like, hey, Yao Odum, and it becomes a bit funny sometimes. But I think it's all cool and fun. It's all cool and fun.
But when you started the group, from the beginning, like you started with how many people, and then currently, what is the number you have now?
Okay, so the number we have now, never in my wildest dream did I think about that. So in the beginning, I was actually sharing it on my wall. So it's just me and friends. I think by then I probably had 1,000 friends or something. So then I created a group. In the beginning, it was family and friends from ISEC and around. So maybe it was 100 people went to 500 and then 1,000. And then in 2013, when CNN came to interview us, I remember we had 1,028 people. Currently, we have close to 500,000 people as part of the Trotro Diaries community.
But I watched an interview where you shared that one person that nearly bullied you. I want to know more about that incident.
Okay, so the bullying there, there have been plenty of them. There have been plenty of them. I think one was a lady at Zongo Junction. So I think we were all trying to get on the Trotro. This was after I'd gotten there around 5:36. And all the pushing and shoving and all that. And they'll tell you, oh, men are strong, but that day, that lady, she turned the story around. Charlie, she showed me somewhere and entered the Trotro. And then I think there was this funny one. It wasn't necessarily me, but there was this friend, Aaron. We were trying to get on the Trotro, and it was too many people. For me, I was like, no, I won't join. But Aaron needed to get to work. He was in his national service then. So all of them, the Trotro came, they were rushing, holding on to the door, and then it just came off, and all of them, Charlie, were in the gutter. So it's been a lot of interesting experience. I wish I could share, but then I'm sure there'll be some follow-up for me to be able to share more.
You made mention that some of the things that people post, you don't share it.
Yes.
But I think market-wise, it's a big platform. Looking from the other angle, why don't we use that opportunity to also do marketing on your platform?
Yeah. So the thing, as I mentioned earlier on, was that we wanted to focus on unique content, right? So even now, we could be chasing so many adverts. We don't, because it's more content driven. And one thing I've learned being a Ghanaian and about Ghanaians is that if you open the doors, forget everything will now become marketing. The other side of it also is I don't believe in that kind of marketing, because what happens is that you see all these posts where, oh, today's market day, post, and then you see 4,000 comments. Who's going to read those 4,000 comments? They won't read it. And so for me, I believe that when we want to do some of these things, we need to do it in a better way. So one of the things that we are looking at, which I'll share with Trotro Diaries members and even shared with you, we created this database. And so what we're doing was that if somebody needed something, some services, right? So for example, somebody comes and say, oh, I'm looking for somebody that offers travel and tour services. Then we can just go into the service and search who offers these services. Then we can say, oh, Nigeria offers these services. So we can say, okay, this is Nigeria's contact her. So we have 1,000 businesses in that database. And then also for people that are looking for jobs, we have about 3,000 people in that database. So now we're discussing it and say, okay, cool, we have this now. So we've had people send us jobs. We go into this database and then we email it to people that are looking for these jobs. Now we're looking at making it better. And so we are thinking of a website where, for example, you have these services that you provide, you can put it in there. And so a Trotro Diaries member can go in there and say, okay, I'm looking for somebody that offers maybe travel and tour services or photography, videography services. They'll be able to see members that offer those services, can see what reviews people have given, and then they can go ahead and give them business. I feel that would be better than opening up the community and then people will just be posting, I need this, I sell this, I do that. As of now, we don't do that, so that we can keep the focus on the content and the experiences that we want to share, and then we'll find better and strategic ways to help people to be able to access business.
Any achievements?
Plenty. Of course, why not? So in 2013, we were featured on CNN. I believe that's also a testament to the good work that we're doing.
I'm privileged to have a big man on my show.
I'm privileged to be here, to have the opportunity to share. So we've had CNN. Beyond that, we've done a lot of projects. I think we're one of the first communities to start these philanthropic stuff on Facebook. I can't even count. We've done so many, but usually I didn't even like putting it out there because then it's like you're showing off too much. So I don't really like showing off. We've done a lot of paying of school fees for people, medical bills, the blood donations. We've done training of people. We've helped people to get jobs. We've helped people. Some people have gotten married on there. Through Trotro Diaries, there have been a lot of groups and pages that have come out through Trotro Diaries. Influencers through Trotro Diaries. I'm sure you know Nana T.
Yeah.
That's where he started from. Yeah. And so, like, there are a lot of people that we've also supported, or they've started on Trotro Diaries, been able to find a community on Trotro Diaries. Now he has his own page, which is doing amazing. He's verified and all that. Facebook has also awarded us 2 times, and actually 3 times. The last one was just last year. So they have this program called Facebook Community Accelerator, where they select the top group admins across the world. In Ghana, it was just Trotro Diaries. In Africa, we're 22, we're part of that. We've done stuff with Malta Guinness. UNICEF has also selected us for programs. We just recently also got selected for a program in Germany. So there's so many things that we've done.
Put it out there just to encourage somebody to know, say, if I join this group, oh, I'll be learning or seeing things like this, that kind of.
So I think usually I'm not really a fan of the too much of talking. So I see people do it too much. I'm not usually a fan of it. For me, it is more like, okay, if you can do it something, just do it and keep going. And so people that are part of the community, they see what we are doing. So we've shared it with them and all that kind of stuff. But usually, I think somebody advised me on that sometimes it's good to put some of these impacts out there. So for example, from January to now, we've done a couple of projects. We had one project where we saw that, okay, the people that are on Trotro are sharing experiences. We selected the top 30, did free training for them. I've already started content creation, social media, and all that. And we started integrating them into some of the projects that we do. So, for example, we have a partnership with Yango. And I was like, okay, cool. Some of these guys are also sharing content, and their content has a high reach. So we brought them on board, and then they got paid for that activity. We also did a project at Circle where we're trying to do some recycling stuff. So we did some container where people can put plastics in there. We gave it to the station that, yeah, you can sell the plastics and use it for projects at the Trotro station. We educated people on recycling. So there's a lot we do, but usually because I like to do more of the stuff on the community, it doesn't go out there. And then sometimes I see other people do this and it's like, it's too much bragging. That's not what we want to focus on. If we can do something, let's just do it and move on.
So who sponsors the shows, the programs that you've been organizing? Do you seek for sponsorship or people voluntarily come out say like, I want to sponsor you?
Yeah. So so far the main sponsorship we've had is our members volunteering to be part and support. So sometimes in the beginning we didn't even have any support. Our members will use their own money. I would obviously use my money to support as well. And then we have members within the group like Fifi is based in US. That also every now and then we say, oh, every month I want to support with this. And so if you have a member that needs this kind of support, I'll come in and help. And then most recently, we've started collaborating with some organizations. So we did something with Malta Guinness. They wanted to do education on drink driving, the need for people not to drink and drive. So then we work with them. We are doing something with Yango as well. We've done something with UNDP. And so now we began to look at, okay, who has projects or activities around this area that we can partner with and then do stuff with. So now we began looking at these kind of partnerships, but we don't focus too much on it. We focus on, okay, if it's something that we can do, we just go ahead and do it. If we can find a partner to do it with, then we'll do that as well.
Are you doing this alone or you have people you work with?
Yes. So I have a team that I work with. Currently, my admin and moderator team for the online stuff, I have 3 other people that support me, Priscilla, Stella, and then Paul. And then also when it comes to organizing activities, I have Marilyn, Londona, and then me that also supports when it comes to events.
But you made mention that you don't entertain people posting stuff on us. So how do you get to know someone needs help and then you have to render that help? How do you hear of it?
So to be honest, of late, we don't do too much of that. And it's because, unfortunately, there's this thing in Ghana where you try to do good and people make you feel bad. So first we used to we would ask and then people would respond and then we select. But then what happened was the resources are always limited. And so let's say maybe we have people support with 1,000 cedis, 2,000 cedis, or 5,000 cedis. You select a number of people that usually we haven't met before in our lives. We support them and then we take a break because the platform is not about everyday people asking for help. It's about content around transportation. And so every now and then we'll do it and then we'll stop. But we realize that when somebody comes and they will see that, oh, this is an extreme case, we help them, and then somebody comes and says, oh, Charlie, we just helped people. We can't keep going back to people asking for money. Hey, you are doing family and friends. And so for me personally, we got to the point where I was like, okay, cool, then we just will not do it at all because that's not what the community is even about. But every now and then we have people that are in there that see somebody will comment or say something, then they go in and then they support people. But we don't actively do this come and solicit for support any longer.
Okay, so what are some of the responses, some of the feedback we get from people in the group?
You mean with regards to supporting people and all that?
Not that, like.
Oh, in general, okay. So in general, it's been
bash you like, oh, yeah, tundo dodo, yes, say dodo. Do you get that kind of responses?
Definitely, trust Ghanaians on that one. So yeah, we do get some of that, and usually the sad thing is that the majority of people that will complain are people that will not read the guidelines. So we have 6 guidelines on the community, and we've stated that if you post this, it will not be approved. This is what you can post. Then we also have things on stuff like privacy. So what people don't know is that the things that you post on social media can take you to jail or can land you at the police station. And so in the beginning, we were a bit more open to people can just post. Then because it's a very large community, we have big men and women, lawyers and stuff on there, they prompted us and said, oh, hey, this kind of content can land you guys in prison, not in prison or in court or something. And so then we needed to respond to that. And so now if somebody posts something that will feel like, this can lead to defamation or privacy issues and all that, we decline it. So it can be related to transport or something, but we decline it because it can put us in trouble, it can put you, the person posting, in trouble. So we've put all of these things in the guidelines. Unfortunately, Ghanaians don't like to read. And so the person will come and complain, and I posted this. Okay, what did you post? Something that they copy from someone. But we already said if you copy and post, we won't approve it. Or if it's privacy issue, well, so we have some of this feedback. But sometimes too, it is right that we accidentally decline or approve something that should not have been approved or that should have been approved. So that one, when the person reaches out and we see, we apologize. We are not shy of that. We apologize. But majority of it has been positive. People like the experiences, they laugh, and then all that. They give us good feedback as well. But we always want, even the negative feedback as well, we want, because we can use it to improve stuff.
You started 12 years ago.
Yes.
You mentioned Stella and then Londona. You started with them, or those you started with are somewhere along the line, they left and others joined?
Yeah, so Londona just took part in a small part, which was for the event. So in the beginning, my first admin was Pamela. She's no longer active now because of family duties and all that. But Stella also was from the very beginning. And then there was Gameli in the very beginning as well. And then Oscar. So these were the first admins in the very beginning. But you know, as their family and their responsibilities change, some of them have moved on to other roles. But Stella is still with us. Paul also joined, I think, about 2 or 3 years ago. And Priscilla is just most recent.
I hope you're enjoying the conversation. Don't forget to subscribe, follow, like. You can leave your questions or your comments under the section and we will respond accordingly. So back to our conversation. Can you please share with us your worst moment in a Trotro and then the happiest moments you encountered in the Trotro?
Okay. So I think the worst moment, there are plenty. I think the worst probably would be when I encounter people that litter. It is one of the things that I can't stand. I hate it with a passion. So I remember I had this fight. I used to fight Circle Trotro Station. So there was this gentleman that I think just when the Trotro was moving, he littered. And I was like, why would you do that? And he was like, oh, I shouldn't worry. It's more environmental friendly than even me. I was like, how can you be environmental friendly and then you litter? And I was like, Zoom Lion. And it was some huge fights in the Trotro. And for me, like, I don't care about other stuff, but when it comes to that, I don't mind fighting. If, like, you can take a video of me, if you see me, post it on Trotro Diaries, I'll prove it myself. Because when you get to the Trotro station sometimes, it's so dirty. And, I mean, it's smelly. I feel like we deserve better. So that's one part I really didn't like about the whole Trotro experience. When it comes to my favorite Trotro moment, I think that one would definitely be at 37. This was in 2010, and to now I can still remember where I was standing when it happened. And I think I actually want to replicate that. So it was this very hot, I think it was a Monday, and everybody was stressed. You know, when you get to the stage, you can see when everybody's tired, stressed, because nobody likes Monday. Now maybe I like Monday, but back then nobody liked Monday. So it was at 37 station. As usual, the place was dirty, there was dust and everything. And there were these guys that sell these cassettes. And it was, I think it was noisy or something. All of a sudden, from nowhere, they started playing Brenda Fassie, this song, Vuli Lenda or something. It's like, oh, that song was peace. And they didn't say anything, they just started playing that music. And you could see that it was peace to like everybody at the Trotro station. It was so calming. This was 13 years ago, but I still remember it as if it was yesterday. After they followed with some, I think it was some gospel songs or something, but it was so relaxing, and it kind of reminded me of how or why I started Trotro Diaries. Even though this was before Trotro Diaries, but it was more like everybody was stressed, thinking about how they're going to get to home, the traffic, how maybe life conditions were. But for that brief moment, it gave some kind of relaxation to everybody. And I think so far that's been my best.
I watched one Trotro Diaries video where a lady and a gentleman, I think they were kissing or something. Don't you think those kind of videos that come on the platforms, like they're invading in people's privacy?
They were kissing.
Yeah, and one thing I saw too is like the other person who was pressing the breast, something. I saw that video. I was like,
Ooh, no, I'm not sure if this was Trotro Diaries. So Trotro Diaries, we have some video content that we do. The closest we went to kissing in our video series was, I think, just a peck on their forehead or something. This was actors from Trotro Diaries. But apart from that, we would not even approve that on Trotro Diaries.
how do you like people? Do you get feedback from people that they take their video on the street doing that kind of?
No, so on Trotro Diaries, as I mentioned earlier on, if you took a video or a picture of somebody kissing or even sleeping in Trotros, we wouldn't approve it. The only ones we would approve is, okay, we see it's just people in public. Ideally, we try to avoid even people's faces unless maybe they are doing something positive. But if something negative, we wouldn't even approve it. Sorry, even accidents. So for example, if you you see an accident, right, and you take a picture of the crashed cars, we'll approve it. If you take pictures of dead people, we'll approve it. Because we try to be very sensitive with some of these information, because nobody wants to see their relative or their friend dead on the street and somebody has taken a picture and it's just we don't think it's a good thing. So for us, we don't. If you see content like that, it definitely will not be on Trotro Diaries.
So Trotro Diaries is only limited to Facebook.
No, so we have the Facebook group, we have the Facebook page. That's where we have most of the people. And the reason why was that in the beginning, we didn't want it to be just me sharing my experiences, even though it started from me. We wanted people to share their experiences directly. And Facebook was the one that provided that kind of experience. Because when you go to Twitter, you can't post onto somebody's page or something like that. Same on Instagram, unless they retweet. But for the Facebook group, you could post and everybody sees that it was you that posted it. So that community experience was what we wanted. But now we have a Facebook page, we have Instagram, we have Twitter as well.
No TikTok.
TikTok, we have it, but we haven't promoted it so much so far. So we want to start building these other ones and then we'll keep.
I think you should try Telegram because the number is huge. I think Telegram too takes a huge.
Okay, number. We'll explore that as well. We started with WhatsApp communities as well. We'll explore that as well.
I think you should add me.
We will add you. We will add you.
I hope you're enjoying the conversation. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. Please leave your questions. He will be there to answer you.
Definitely, definitely.
So let's sway away from Trotro Diaries. Let's go into your personal life a little bit.
Okay.
Are we permitted?
Sure, why not?
So married, single, dating?
I'm not married. I'm currently engaging someone, dating.
From Trotro Diaries.
She has joined Trotro Diaries, but then she wasn't on Trotro Diaries before. So now we can say yes, she's a Trotro Diaries member.
She's just monitoring everything. So you have to be careful so you don't end up receiving blows.
Yeah.
Do you encounter things from ladies sending you, I love you, I want a relationship with you, that kind of messages?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's normal. It's normal.
There's something behind it. Yeah. You prolonged it so long.
No, so I mean, I've gotten some of them, some very interesting ones and some very wild ones that you read and like, okay, you need to take your phone back a little bit. But I think for a lot of them, I think they mean it with brotherly love and sisterly love. So that's how I see it. I don't see it as anything beyond that.
In case I want to join, do I have to see you or apply, send my CV or anything just to be?
No, so it's an open community. So for those that are on Facebook, you can just go to Facebook, you search for Trotro Diaries, Diaries. Obviously, there will be copycats, but the main one is a group. You see 405,000 members or 400,000 plus members. And then we also have the page, that one has 47,000. So if it's not 400,000 plus group members or 47,000 plus, those ones are fake. But you just search that on Facebook and then you can request to join the group. We'll approve you. You can share your experiences and read. If you go on Twitter, on Instagram, you can just search for Trotro Diaries, or the handle is at Trotro Diaries. And then on TikTok as well, Trotro Diaries. On YouTube, we just launched our new channel just last week. You can search for Trotro Diaries.
Okay, so most of the activities that we've done have been self-funded. I say self-funded, it's been mainly our community doing most of this stuff. But we've done one or two things with some government organizations. So, for example, we did something with AMA, Accra Metropolitan Assembly. So they had this pedestrian road safety action plan, which was a project to see how they could improve safety for pedestrians in Accra. So seeing that we had a community that was full of commuters and pedestrians, they invited us to be part of that program. So we were able to take questions and feedback from people that are part of the public to them to be able to factor in some of the policies and decision making that they were making. But beyond that, we ran a bit more with developmental organizations like UNICEF, UNDP, who else? A couple of Ghana College of Physicians and Surgeons. So we've done more of these kind of organizations, but we're hoping to be able to collaborate with the likes of Ministry of Transport, road, highways, all these organizations that do stuff that impact transportation. We're looking forward to collaborating more with them. And obviously, some of the projects that we've done, like the one we did at Circle, we did it with the GPRT at Circle and all that. We're hoping to do more with these organizations. How was that feedback like that? You sent the letter that you want to do something? Oh, I mean, they welcomed us. At the end of the day, they saw that there was something good that we wanted to do, and we also were able to tell them that these are the people that you are providing a service to. So we want to come together with you and improve things, and they welcomed us. How about more than the initial since the solution? Yeah, so actually, we are one of the organizations that we're going to start speaking to. We engaged one of the directors from there, Mr. Wachi. He was very welcoming. And so we're going to continue the conversation from there. I think for us, what's even more important is from the behavioral side of stuff, as I was mentioning, that yes, the dustbin can be there. Right? There was this amazing project by, I think, one Ghana movement or something. They put dustbins at almost every bus stop. CTF also did that. They put dustbins at almost every bus stop. Ghanaians were not putting the waste in there. And so for us, even more important is how do we work with these organizations or ministries like NEST, Environmental Science and Innovation, other organizations, to be able to do things that it's not just to put the dustbins there, but people become aware of these dustbins being there. We do education, we do promotion and stuff that actually make sure that people bring these things into the dustbin. These are conversations that we're very, very interested in. Okay, so for me, one of the things that I also, as I shared from the beginning, was that the ultimate purpose of our lives are really is in the hope that we bring to others. And as a Christian, Jesus even said that love your neighbor as yourself. One thing that I've come to realize is in doing that, right, you are able to find things that can turn into either a business or make impact in a way that it impacts you. What do I mean? Most businesses that are successful, right? Think of it. What companies come to mind? NTN, Melcom, which one comes to mind? Any organization that you do, they try to do things for people. In doing things for people, they create value for people. And then in return, they create value for themselves as well. Whether you have a job or not, there are a lot of things out there. You can pick some of these issues and turn them into something that now creates value for you. Right now, from starting Trotro Diaries, I run a digital media agency where I do work for some organizations and all that. You can also start. When I started, I didn't know all these things. It was just there was a problem around. I want to do something to help this problem. In doing that, I became an expert or an influencer in that space. Based on that, I'm now able to do other stuff and make a living for myself. So just look around you. There are things that are happening. Try to do things that you do like for people, and you never know where it will take you.
After you said food.
Definitely. I mean, the last one that we did at Circle, we ordered kinky for kinky by Bubashi and it was amazing. And the next thing, as I mentioned, we have a new book called Bachelors in the Kitchen. And we definitely are going to look at inviting the guys who cook and then you can come and try it.
Because I don't trust them.
Oh, no, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Wednesday, you have to move your butt. I'm sure you'll be good.
Okay, this has been awesome. I hope you liked it. Please don't forget to comment, share, follow, and subscribe. Remember, this show is proudly sponsored by Sub 6 and J Consult, located inside the Now Market. Looking for visa to any country, you can just call them 0548 945203. If you want your story to be heard, you can also contact us or send us a DM. Call us 0548 945203. Thank you for making time for us. Taking time out of your busy schedule to just come and interact with us. It's been a privilege to host a big man and nice.
Thank you too. I always say it's always a privilege when somebody finds our story that they are telling. So I also really appreciate you.
Until then, I'll catch you on the flip side on our next episode. Now, Ajay Anna is my name. Catch you on the flip side. See ya.